once again to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. As always, I am your host, Matt Brannon, bringing you all professional wrestling's news, notes, innuendos, and whatever else you can come up with in this wonderful world of professional wrestling. Happy frickin' Saturday to everybody. I told you that I would be back. I told all 10 of you. I know you were chomping at the bit. You're like, when the hell is the Slow Burn going to come out for today? Well, I told you it would come out a little later today because I took care of some business, right? When you go thrifting and you find stuff that not only your wife's gonna love for her, but you find a couple other things for you. It's always a great thing. Now, let me tell you guys what. Obviously, you guys know into wrestling collectibles. Do a lot of it. I do everything from the figures to cups to belts to I love anything and everything that is wrestling collectible. And I'm new into this, right? So I've only been doing it for a while. So I don't know all the ins and outs. Like I look at like the cards and stuff. Like I know like some of them are worth a lot of money. Like what is this one? This was this is a 1 in 79 Okada first print. Like I know stuff like that. I get, but the real question is this, how good of a wrestling collectible is this? That's the real question, because people really need to wonder, is it The Rock or is it really Maui? So we're gonna sit Maui right over here. I don't know. I figured like I gotta have it. What if I just like just I don't know, but I like my Maui. I'm very excited. I was excited to see that. Fucking steal for what I got it for, by the way. So there you go. Got some other cool stuff today too. Very excited about a freaking Big Bubba Rogers figure that I got. So super awesome, super awesome. That's what I've been doing. You see, I'm still involved in the wrestling, even if I'm out thrifting for antiques. You just never know. You never freaking know what you're gonna find. So good stuff, good stuff. And it's also pretty decent stress relief. So there you go. But happy Saturday to everybody. Let's get off of that bullshit and let's get into the professional wrestling. All right, because that's what we're here to do on the Slow Burn. Okay. Last night, SmackDown, okay? And here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go through SmackDown. We got a little bit to talk about on that. I'll preview Collision, and then I want to give the Slow Burn's final thoughts on the WWE ESPN agreement and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get in-depth on it because I'm kind of over it at this point. There's still some stuff I want to learn about before I really establish a true opinion, but I want to close it out as far as me right now. So we're going to do that, and that'll be kind of it. So decent little Saturday. I will be back tomorrow. All right. We'll recap Collision tomorrow. And then obviously we'll do our Slow Burn Week in Review Awards and go from there. If time allows, I have an idea. I have a very good idea for an awesome Mount Rushmore. All right. I'm not going to spoil it right now. I'm just going to say, I think it'll be interesting to people who not just, because I know not everybody that watches this are huge wrestling fans. And I know that out of the 10 of you that watch, I know that most of you are just like trying to keep up a little bit. I'm an easy way to check off the list of what happened the night before. I get that. But I think that this Mount Rushmore that I'm coming up with will be good for every type of wrestling fan, whether you were someone that was into it years ago, someone who's into it now, someone that's trying to get back into it. I think I can catch every single wrestling fan with the idea that I'm going to do. I'm, again, not spun. Did you guys see that fly just come by the freaking camera right there? That thing was as big as an eagle. Damn, that might ought to take shelter on that one. So regardless, let's get to SmackDown. First off, I want to say this about SmackDown. Live from Montreal, Quebec. All right. Canada. A Montreal crowd is always a banger. All right. I love a Montreal crowd. And last night was as lively as they could be. And honestly, thank you for the crowd because the show itself wasn't very good. It wasn't awful. I'm not going to say it was awful. I scored it a C+, and that was probably generous. But like I said, you got to give credit where credit's due, and I thought that the Montreal crowd was what made that and the Solo Sikoa match. But regardless, let's go ahead and get to it. First, the audience, they were the show. Cena said that, and that's how we open things up. John Cena opens the stuff up. The former champ is here, is what we'll say. We are total babyface John Cena. We are hustle, loyalty, and respect John Cena. Literally, it's completely the way it was. It took one promo, and now Cena's back, and the heel thing maybe never should have happened. I don't know. What's funny is when I think back to the heel turn, I was so big on it, and I still am. I still think it's a fantastic heel turn. I do. The story that came with the heel turn, that might have ended up being kind of hit and miss. A lot of parts were pure shit. A lot of parts were meh, and then there were a couple points that shined. Not a lot, not a lot. If I had to really score it on a grading scale, F to A, I would probably score it somewhere around the C range, because the beginning was great, the middle was meh, and then the end was kind of, holy shit, this thing's over already. So but Cena opened. Thought it was really good. I like the fact that Cena mentioned to the Montreal crowd that there was once a time where WWE didn't want to come back to Montreal because for television, because Vince thought that the Montreal crowd would hijack the show. And that all comes back. That is a big respecting shown to the Montreal Screwjob and the history of the Montreal Screwjob. And I know most people are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we were talking about Shawn Michaels over Bret Hart, the loogie in the face of Vince McMahon, Earl Hebner with the quick count, Shawn Michaels with the quick tap, I should say. Shawn Michaels rolling him up with literally the worst sharpshooter of all time, like the Montreal Screwjob. By the way, if you haven't ever seen the Dark Side of the Ring on the Montreal Screwjob, you really need to do that. All right, one of the better Dark Side of the Rings that there is, and they're all good. But I liked the fact that we had that calling back to the old ways and the way that Vince saw Montreal. The dude was scared to death to go back to Montreal. And you know what? If he would have went back to Montreal shortly thereafter and tried to do it on television, the Montreal crowd would have hijacked the damn show. Last night, Cena put it in the right frame of mind. He put it right where it was supposed to be, and the Montreal crowd was eating out of his hand. Again, like him or hate him, and you guys know I've been a Cena sucks guy. I'm enjoying this run because of my respect I have for the man, for what he's done for the business, for the Make a Wish shit. I'm good with it all, but last night really showed once again how damn good John Cena is on the mic. He can take lemons and turn it into lemonade like that, and I will tell you, he is in rarefied air when it comes to talkers. Hint, hint. Mount Rushmore, hint, hint. And I think it could be really good. If I had to pick a couple guys over him, I don't know how long that list would be. I really don't, but I don't want to spoil anything. Let's move on from that. But the Cena opening was okay. It was long. It was very, very long. Logan Paul comes out. First off, is there a better heel in WWE right now than Logan Paul? I mean, think about that. Like, seriously, out of people in reality in WWE, wrestlers, talent, right? Who is getting booed more than Logan Paul, right? Right now, nobody. Nobody. If Dom's getting booed, it's because right now it's in jest. Maybe Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's really getting a lot of heat right now. The boost, and thank God, that's what we need out of this storyline with that. But I think Logan Paul's doing fantastic stuff as a heel. I really do. And we already know the fantastic stuff that he does as a freaking wrestler. Like, he lays it on the line every time. I've never seen somebody pick it up so fast. And, who am I to even say that? But you read it, like how the wrestlers respect the stuff that he's done. I promise you, Drew McIntyre wouldn't be working with Logan Paul right now if he didn't respect him. I mean, that's just how it is, period. Because he holds that much clout backstage. Drew McIntyre is not going to pick up a storyline that is going to hurt Drew McIntyre. That gives me all I need to know about Logan Paul and his standing with stuff right now. And I just don't know if there's a better heel. Now, here's where we get to the question is, does that mean that Logan Paul is going to actually be on TV for a while? Are we going to stick with him? He's been here for a month or so, and we're seeing him regularly. Or are we going to get this stuff with Cena coming up that we know now that we're going to get, and then after Clash in Paris, we don't see Logan Paul for a couple more months? And that's the only thing that bothers me. I think the guy is great. I think he's doing fantastic work. I just think that WWE has to cash in on the fact that he is their premier heel. Period, right? Because like I've said before, you can want it to be Drew all you want, but it's only going to be a matter of time before this character of Drew gets over. And honestly, it was getting over prior to his little hiatus that he had. And now that he's back, yeah, he's back on the heel side of things, but the thing that's getting that is Logan Paul. Like, him being with Logan Paul turns up the heat on Drew McIntyre. So it works both ways. But I promise you, Drew wouldn't be doing this if he didn't have some respect for Logan Paul and the work that he can do. with that said, it's a great setup. We're now going to get Logan Paul and John Cena. I like the fact that Logan's like, I think you need to have a match with me. And Cena's like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it right here tonight. And, there's your typical baby face, pumping up the home crowd stuff, who I will say no one does that better than John Cena, maybe in history. Cody's pretty damn good at it too, though. But so he says that we're going to go tonight, and then Logan Paul, very, very smart. I like this little spin that he did on it. Was we are going to do it, and we're going to do it in a French-speaking area, and that place is going to be Paris, France. That's a slap in the face of Montreal. Number one, I'm not going to wrestle in your town. Number two, I want to be a real French. I want to do this at a real French-speaking place, which is Paris. You're not France. I thought that was damn good. I don't know. Sometimes his little one-offs and just the way he delivers those zingers it's talent. I love it. I love it. I love it. But so Logan's down. He's talking to Cena. They're not actually in the ring together. Logan's on the ramp. And then, boom, Drew McIntyre from behind. Logan's going to get it in with John. Now they're beating the shit out of John. And then there you hear it. Bah, 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 and Cody is coming out, right? Loved the Cody save. Loved even more the Nick Aldis interruption. Basically saying, all right, you got your match at Clash in Paris. We'll do that. But tonight we're getting this tag match. And guys, I'm sorry. At this point in time, what did he say? He has 11 spots left after last night, meaning Cena, his dates that he has left to do this. If we're getting to see John Cena on regular television, at this point in time, I think that we should be very, very happy. I really do. Because, like him or hate him, I don't give a damn. You got to respect what he's done for the game. And to be honest with you, outside of The Rock, who's the most noticeable part? Who's more mainstream in professional wrestling outside of The Rock right now? Well, Hulk Hogan, obviously, rest his soul. But that's it. It's Cena. It's Peacemaker. Peacemaker. I can't even say the damn thing. So, I don't know. I liked the piece. I thought it was really good. But I was ready at this point in time to get to some wrestling. I wanted to see some damn wrestling. And it took me a while to get to the shit. Let's just go ahead and say. But the first wrestling is going to come. We're going to get a little backstage stuff from Solo, which I really, really liked. I love the sarcastic Solo and the facial expressions he's making. It makes me laugh every single time. One might say ILOL, right? Think about that, kids. So we get back to this. Solo's like, nobody can challenge me now. I've taken out the Samoan Werewolf and Jacob Fatu. There's nobody that can challenge me. I'm it. Now, with that said, when he came out and you realized that he's dressed in wrestling gear, we were going to get something. You got to be a total novice not to check that out. But I really like that with the fact that backstage Solo says, but these two, they're going to become tag champions, right? And he's talking about JC Mateo and Tala Tonga, formerly known as Jeff Cobb and Hikuleo. Now, to someone that might not be familiar with their New Japan work, you probably don't know these two have tagged many times. All right, they were both part of the United Empire. Will Ospreay's group, you guys were familiar. Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, Will Ospreay, and United Empire. Both of these guys have been part of that, and they have tagged together, and they've done great work in New Japan. And to be honest with you, I thought that their work they did in this match against the Motor City Machine Guns was pretty good. Now, with that said, I hated to see the Motor City Machine Guns basically get squashed, and they did. Now, they got a few of their spots in, but let's just call it what it is. This was a glorified squash match. But I thought, once again, that they did a great job at making Tala Tonga look really damn good. The way they're doing it with the camera, have most of the time the camera's looking up at him, that is so damn smart. Because they're billing him at 7 foot right now. Now, is he 7 foot? I think he's like 6'9". I'm pretty sure that's what he is. But we always know in wrestling we add 3 or 4 inches. Okay, and that's what wrestlers do, guys. They had 3 or 4 inches. No, the guy's 6'9". They're billing him at 7 foot, so you have to make him look this way. And the way they're doing it with the camera up on him, I think it's quality. I think they're doing a great job at his presentation. And to be honest with you, I'm glad to see him and JC together. I'm glad to see that as a tag match. Now, the real question is, how far is this going to climb up the tag level? Are we going to get a chance at tag championships with these two? I'm good with it. I really like how we're pushing this MFT now. We got this solid name. We are no longer the second rate bloodline. We're no longer Dollar Tree bloodline, right? Now we are MFT, My Family Tree, motherfucking Tongans. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Let's see what we can do and get them into this tag realm, right? Come out next week and let's not see him with Motor City Machine Guns. Let's see him against somebody a little more hard hitting, like DIY. All right, let's see him go against. Let's see him go against DIY and see that how the strength can play out against a team that's much different than what they saw in. The quickness of the Motor City Machine Guns. Not to say that Johnny Gargano can't do that style because it's one of his things, but I want to see more out of it, and I think that there's a possibility there, though. This whole thing, though, just kind of gave rise to more questions of, all right, so now what, right? Like, okay, they're a tag team now. They beat the Motor City Machine Guns now, but when Solo says they're going to be tag champions, he said down the road, okay? Down the road. Well, what does that mean? Like down the road, like next week? Are they going to challenge for it? We had that nice little vignette from the Wyatts. I thought that was good stuff. I think that them running as heels right now, I've said that before, I think it's very good, and I hope we can get a decent run out of it. Who could be a team that could take them out? I don't know. Maybe it is the MFTs, but they're also a heel squad. So we'll see the direction here. I think this is probably going to clear up more with this tag team stuff coming up really soon. We do need a little, it's been chaos, and I've enjoyed the chaos. But I think we need to tighten this up. And by adding the MFTs to it, did it tighten it up? It could have, depending on which direction they want to take the story. All right. Or was it just a one off and we'll see what happens way down the road? I don't know. But what happened next here was definitely what could be match of the week, guys. Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa. I'll say this again. Sami Zayn's pops are better than anybody's. Sami Zayn's pops in his hometown of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, they're otherworldly. I mean, they really are. See, when you think that Cena's pop is going to tear the damn roof off the place, and then Sami Zayn's does tear the roof off the place, it just shows you how important he is to the Montreal wrestling scene. And he is Montreal's favorite son. I mean, I love it. I think it's great. The other thing here is Sami goes over, guys. Sami goes over Solo Sikoa. This was a non-title match, so the U.S. title not on board. But you know what we got here? We're going to get Sami again. Sami getting into a title picture. This is not a one-off. These two will wrestle again, and they will wrestle with that belt on the line, and I think it's fantastic. Number one, I like the fact that Sami's in a title chase, and I don't care if it's world title. I just want to see him chasing after some strap, right? So we get Sami in a title chase on top of that, and we get to see Sami work as, what does Sami work best as? The ultimate underdog, because Sami's going to have to overcome JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, Tamatanga, Solo Sikoa. He's going to have to overcome a shit ton of Islanders is what he's going to have to do, right? Whether they be Samoan or Tongan, one or the other, it's going to take a ultimate underdog to come through that. Is there anybody better at that role than Sami Zayn? I think this is perfect. I do. I think this is perfect. The other thing that this does is it frees up Jacob Fatu to do something far greater. And I have a feeling that we might. Now, does that mean he's going to be challenging for a championship in the next 3 or 4 weeks? No, hell no. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is in 4 months, we can set this up. Long-term storytelling. Does that mean that he's going to be completely out of the U.S. title hunt? Maybe for now, right? Because I think there's better things on the horizon. Now, we know what's probably going to happen moving down the road as far as the title picture with Cody. We got this Drew stuff going on, which we'll get more to that. Let's say down the road, though, that Jacob Fatu has earned that right. Can you think of something that you don't have to be a babyface to take on Cody if you're Jacob Fatu, because you can tear his face off, right? That's the whole thing. You can play both sides of the coin there, and I think that could be a decent spot. My only thing is not having Jacob on last night kind of made me think, now what the hell are we doing with Jacob Fatu? Cool it off for a little bit if that's the direction, but I'll say this: if he comes back next week, you better give me some damn direction. That's the only thing I'm saying. If he comes back next week, if not, give him a couple weeks off. Let's springboard back into this thing and come in kicking ass. That could be a big part. There went that eagle fly that just flew right by me again. All right. After the Sammy victory, which by the way was absolutely phenomenal, we get Charlotte and Alexa. They had a little backstage thing happen. Charlotte says she has a little birthday present. By the way, happy birthday, Alexa Bliss. Right. Today is Miss Alexa's birthday. But Charlotte and Alexa come down. There's that little give and take. I love their banter. I love their back and forth. It's so freaking good. Uh, Bigger than anything, though, I love that Charlotte's over right now. I think the way these two have worked has been so good. The way that Charlotte has thrived with this has been so good. And honestly, the way that the fans have greeted it with open arms has been so good. So, what was going to come out of this? You knew we were getting action once again, much like Solo and the MFT. Charlotte and Alexa are both out in gear, so odds of them wrestling pretty good. Then we get the interruption by another Canadian as Chelsea Green comes out. And guys, I couldn't have been more excited. My wife immediately said, she goes, "Oh, your two favorites are going to wrestle." And talking about Charlotte and Chelsea, I said, "We're not. That's not Tony Storm." No, I how could I be upset about that? And I thought their match was pretty good. I will say the beginning of it was really slow. It wasn't bad. They were telling a story. It just started really slow. But by midway, they really heated it up, and I thought the action got good. The only thing that I wanted to say is Charlotte's little springboard clothesline. The timing was way off on that. And we've other than that, though, the match wasn't bad. I just could have used a little bit better tempo in the beginning. I'm nitpicking, guys. I'm such a loser. But I thought that was okay. My only thing I put on my note here is just like my last note on this match. I put shit with exclamation points, and the only reason I put that is because Chelsea loses again. Chelsea gets thrown into cake again. Anytime that, as soon as I saw the cake and then I saw Chelsea, I told my wife, I said, Chelsea's going to go into that damn cake. Here we go again. But what did I say yesterday? I said, I'm hoping that maybe Chelsea can climb this card a little bit. Maybe we see Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get it. Again, I don't know who Chelsea's pissed off. I don't know. I really don't know who. She must have put dog shit on somebody's front porch. That's the only thing I can figure. Because how could you be? I don't know. I feel like she's buried right now. I mean, at least she's on television. I will say that. She is on television. So I shouldn't have said that. She's not buried. All right. But is she getting what I believe she needs? Is she getting what I believe she deserves? Is she getting what we deserve as fans? I don't know. I don't see it. I just don't see it. But we shall see. Speaking of Tiffany, we got very little direction on Tiffany last night. We know we had the little Jade thing, but then afterwards, Jade basically looks like she's gonna challenge for the U.S. belt. Maybe we had that interaction with Julia backstage. I don't know. The women's division to me was really left up in the air last night, with the exception of the one match between Charlotte and Chelsea. And really, what did we get out of that? We got in-ring storytelling, but we didn't get much long story. So I don't know. I thought the women got a disservice last night. They really did. They really did. So that brings us to the main event, guys. Cena and Cody, they end up going over Logan and Drew by disqualification. Logan Paul with the low blow to Cena right in front of freaking everybody. Ref sees it, gets calls for the bell. You knew at this point that things were going to get pretty nasty. Cena goes on the offensive. Cena and Logan are gone, and then, man, oh man, Cody and Drew, they get after it. Before it's all over with, Drew claymores Cody through the announce desk on the side, like through the front paneling of the announce desk. Hell of a claymore, too. Hell of a bump. So now we really know what we're going to get. And that's the best part about this show, besides the Solo Sami Zayn match, was the fact that we did finally get a little bit of idea of what's going to happen at Clash of Paris, because we got nothing on that on Monday night for Raw. We really did. The Clash of Paris was just kind of something they spoke about. But, last night we know now we're going to get Logan Paul and John Cena at Clash in Paris. That's going to be fantastic. And then I love the idea that we're going to get Cody and Drew McIntyre. Now, that's not official yet, right? But it's going to be. It's going to happen there. And I love this. This is what shows you that Gunther is actually really hurt. Because Gunther would tear the house down over in Europe. So he's actually banged up. So what do? You get another European heel to go up against Cody, and it makes sense that it's Drew. to be honest with you, this may have been in the works anyway. It may not have been a Gunther thing, regardless. Um, Makes you wonder though with the Gunther injury, because they like to really drive home those European crowds with their European talent. Why wouldn't you? It's smart. It's good business. But this whole thing started to kind of work out here, and I think that Cody and Drew will be great. I mean, we've seen Cody and Drew; they're really good together. This character development that Drew has could be really, really awesome and like the great counterpoint to Cody's uber babyface. And I think this might be a decent little dance partnership. So we shall see. But finally, Clash in Paris was settling in. Now, one other thing I want to mention about the show last night is the backstage segment that happened prior to the main event. R-Truth, I'm sorry, Ron Killings, I'm sorry, is it R-Truth? Anyway, R-Truth and John Cena, and they did like the mirror thing. One puts the hand up and the hand goes down, and then Cena spins it on him. He's like, "I'm glad to see that you're back, man," and then started going through all the stuff that Cena did as a heel and put it on R-Truth, and R-Truth kind of looked at it. There's a possibility for more story with that. I have a feeling it'll be more comedy. And that's good. Honestly, I think that that's a great little way, little side direction they can go with Cena, and you get R-Truth with a little more time on television. And who's going to be mad at that? Like, right? Who's going to be pissed off you get to see R-Truth on television? So, not bad, not bad, not bad. The show, we, again, scored it a C+. Not the greatest show that we've had. Very, very pedestrian average, all right? And that's how it goes. So, we got through WWE this week. Okay, let's talk a little bit about AEW Collision tonight. All right, Collision tonight might not be bad. Let's see, what do we got on card here? We're running out of time, so we need to speed this up just a little bit. All right, our main event tonight, we're getting Kyle Fletcher. I assume this is the main event. This could be. It could be a semi-main. You guys know I don't believe in those. But we got Kyle Fletcher defending the TNT Championship tonight against Big Tom, Tomohiro Ishii. This will be good. This will be really good because Big Tom will beat the piss out of Fletcher for a while, so it'll be fun. We're getting the All-Star Tag Match. Imagine that. Queen Aminata, Ty Mello, and Willow Nightingale are going to be taking on that Triangle of Madness. That's Tekla, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. That'll be pretty good stuff. What else we got here? The other match that's been on here has been Hangman Page tagging up with Jet Speed. This could be your main event as well. But Hanger tagging up with Jet Speed to take on La Facción Ingobernables. That is Roosh, Drolistico, and the Beast Mordos. That'll be a hell of a banger, guys. Very little story with that probably, but it'll be a banger. So, and we'll get to see Roosh and Hangman go at it a little bit, and that will be fun as hell. I promise you, that will be really good stuff. So, all in all, excited for tonight. At least we get to watch some more wrestling on Saturday night. How can I be pissed about that, right? Last thing I want to say before we go, okay? I'm going to circle back to the WWE merger, acquisition, whatever, and I think that this could be interesting. All right, now I want to go ahead and say I'm on the side of the fans. I got to do more research about some of this stuff, but the way I look at it is, some cases fans are getting priced out of shit, and it isn't just the WWE. And this is what I wanted to talk about today. Right? Remember this, when we get pissed off at the WWE, they're pricing me out. I ain't paying that extra money, blah, blah, blah. But would you turn around and go to a Cardinals game? Would you turn around and go to a Braves game? Would you go to a Falcons game? You know what I mean? Like, my point is professional sports in general are pricing out regular families. I mean, hell, you got to take a loan out. You can't get bad seats. I'm not even saying good seats. You can't get bad seats to a professional sporting event and not spend less than $300, and that's bare minimum concessions. I mean, that just is what it is, guys. And what sucks is we just keep on paying it. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm part of the freaking problem, man. So the point that I have with this is maybe we need to look at this thing as an overall. Let's quit talking about, well, I'm not going to go to a Cardinal game, or I'm not going to buy ESPN for WWE, or, man, there's an overall problem here. We got to figure out how to fix the damn thing. And as fans, we can do this, right? As marks, we can do this. So as far as I'm concerned, we're dead on the ESPN stuff. I'm going to get it. Right? I'm going to get it. How am I not going to miss WrestleMania? I'm just not. Because I love it. And I'm always going to. So that's the way it's going to be. So that's where we're at on the Slow Burn, guys. And thank you so much for joining us here on the Slow Burn today on this lovely Saturday. And guys, we will be back tomorrow. Remember, I'll recap Collision. We'll do our weekend review, and we might have a little something else special. But thank you for joining us here on the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all pro wrestling storylines live. And guys, remember, in this world, we are wrestling everything. Stay on top. Thanks for joining us on the Slow Burn.